In this first lesson, we'll explain how to get started in the process of constructing a face using EFIT. The lesson will be divided into 4 sections. In the first part, we'll explain a central feature which underpins how EFIT works. This is known as the easy mode of operation, in which groups of whole faces are generated and presented to the eyewitness. In the second part, we'll look at startup menu choices and completion of the information or startup form when beginning a new EFIT. In section 3, we'll explain the process of selecting approximate feature shapes to help control the appearance of the initial group of faces that are presented to the eyewitness. In the final section, we'll explain the other initial options available, namely loading a previous EFIT or working in the practice mode. Note that you can use the index in the notes below to access any of these specific sessions. In this section of the lesson, we're going to explain how EFIT can be used in its so-called easy mode to generate groups of complete faces to present to the eyewitness. We'll also explain why this is an important way of working. A large amount of scientific research supports the idea that people are good at face recognition but much poorer at describing faces and the appearance of the individual facial features. EFIT accordingly works in 2 basic interchangeable ways. In EFIT's easy mode, the eyewitness is presented with a group of faces and asked to identify both the poorest matches, which are rejected, and also the best one, which is selected. EFIT then calculates a new set of faces based on these responses, which always includes the one last selected. This group is then shown to the witness and the rejection selection process is repeated. The simple idea behind this is to use our superior capacity for face recognition. The eyewitness can easily and instinctively respond to the presented faces, and gradually EFIT converges to an increasingly accurate likeness to the desired face. At any point in this process, however, we can switch to using any of EFIT's other tools, which allow the user to systematically make changes to our chosen face. For example, suppose we wish to change the shape of the nose, make the eyes a little smaller and the face a little older. We can achieve this with the systematic tools Move and Attributes. By returning to the easy mode of operation, EFIT can show the witness variations on this face, exploring whether a better likeness is obtained. In this way, the 2 ways of operating can be combined to converge to an acceptable likeness as quickly and conveniently as possible. Thus, in general, the easy mode relies on our recognition response and seeks to assist the eyewitness by showing variations on the appearance that may approach closer to the desired face. On the other hand, a variety of systematic tools, such as Move and Attributes, are available to enable the witness to directly alter the preferred face as needed. In general, effective use of EFIT combines these 2 ways of operating. In this section of the lesson, we'll look at the startup menu choices and how to complete the information or startup form when beginning a new EFIT. When you start EFIT 6 from the desktop, you're presented with 3 options: to begin a new EFIT, to load a recent EFIT session, or to start a practice session. We'll select the option New EFIT. The other two options will be discussed briefly at the end of the lesson. In front of us we see the information form. There are basically just two things to remember to satisfactorily complete it. With the exception of the Notes section, which is optional, you cannot proceed to construct an EFIT if you leave any of the fields blank. Secondly, you cannot proceed until the answers to the questions satisfy the PACE guidelines. If they do not meet the PACE requirements, a warning is shown. Please note that we're showing the version used in the UK, and customers in other countries may use a customised version to reflect the information that's required locally. Once the form is satisfactorily completed, clicking on Proceed will take you to the next step of choosing the approximate feature shapes. In this section of the lesson, we'll explain the process of selecting approximate feature shapes that can help control the appearance of the initial group of faces that are presented to the eyewitness. Our basic aim at the start of the EFIT construction is to present the eyewitness with a group of faces that broadly match the description given. To enable this, we ask the eyewitness to first identify, where possible, the approximate shape of the individual features of the suspect. Initially, from the group of 9 face shapes, the eyewitness is asked to identify which of the face shapes best approximates that of the suspect. It's important to make clear here that we're not expecting a precise match or similarity. We click directly on the chosen shape, and an orange box appears around it to confirm the selection. To proceed to the next feature, we click on the button Next. If the eyewitness is uncomfortable or unable to select a preferred feature shape, they have the option of choosing the Skip button. In this way, we proceed through each of the features in the sequence: face shape, nose, mouth, eyes and eyebrows. Note that rolling the mouse wheel can magnify the size of the features before we make a selection. Once choices have been made for each of the features, EFIT shows the approximate face or head shape and automatically enters the hairstyle tool. The reason for taking this step is that hairstyle is in general an important and memorable aspect of the facial appearance. It's nearly always best to first select an appropriate hairstyle before EFIT begins to show groups of faces to the eyewitness. In the final section, we'll explain the other starting options available, namely loading a previous EFIT or working in the practice mode. Two other options are available when we start EFIT 6. If we select a practice session, we are not presented with an information form, but instead only prompted to enter the gender, presumed ethnicity and approximate age. EFIT 6 will then immediately generate a group of 9 faces without applying a hairstyle first. Thereafter, EFIT 6 can be used in the same way as normal. EFIT sessions are time and date stamped. If we select a session under the option Load Recent, EFIT would load the entire session, displaying the face or group of faces that the session had reached when the session was closed. In this case, EFIT loads the image as it appeared in the last step of the loaded session.